So many insidious tactics that narcissists use, and it's important that we know what they are. I want to take you through a bunch that I think will really help you. It's because they have this, full artillery, this arsenal of all these tactics, and they're things like name calling, devaluation, and the all-time favorite, just undermining your credibility. And it's like when we're talking to or trying to navigate any kind of communication with a narcissistic person, what we realize is that it's a verbal just minefield, and the important thing for us to do is be able to know what the mind actually looks like, just so we can step away from it and just so it doesn't explode. And name calling is just like, the narcissist Olympics. It's like it's a gold medal event for them because in their essence, narcissists are just toddlers in the schoolyard and they're just trash talking. Narcissists use name calling. They wield it like a kid in a playground, but they're doing it strategically. It's almost like they have this war map that they're trying to use just to undermine your own credibility, your own self-worth. If you dare voice a different opinion, it's just like, bam. A narcissist will label you an idiot faster than you can say, what the? Because what you'll find is less about making a point and more about dropping verbal bombs that annihilate your self-esteem. That's the whole point of name calling. Then we have other tactics like, the drive-by insults. So it's like a narcissist, hit and run game. And it's not about just dropping shade on your parade. No, it's about dropping an entire cluster bomb of grenades into your camp. And what are they going to attack? They're going to attack your intelligence. They're going to attack your appearance, your core beliefs, things that you love, things that you care about. Everything is fair game to a narcissist. It's as if they're armed with just a verbal bazooka, and their only goal is to leave scars on whoever their victim is. If you look at why narcissists do these things, it's like undermining credibility is a narcissist's way of just shifting the battleground. It's like, why bother with the hassle of a debate when a narcissist can just, blow your reputation up instead? Like, why deal with you fairly? Just knock you out at the knees, right? And it's like, how do they react? It's like, oh yeah, you have an opinion. That's kind of cute. But remember who you're talking to. Talking to the overlord. It's just a facade. It's just like a cheap trick to make you think that, they hold the spotlight. And what do they do when they're holding the spotlight? They want to shine it on themselves. It's just the way that they work. There's just so much grandiosity in there. It's to protect ourselves against this narcissistic onslaught that's always coming at us. It's just like boundaries become so important because it's not just a defensive move. It's about reclaiming your territory. And even if you've lost ground, it's just like we can fight for it back. And more, what we're going to start doing is they're drawing a line in the sand. So you cross this and this conversation's over. And it's about the narcissist just doesn't have the right to turn your dignity and your honor into their doormat. They can just wipe their feet on it anytime they feel like it. When you see a narcissist, using things like name calling, just throwing them around, because what that actually means is they've actually hit the end of their intellectual rope. That's as far as they go. And it's not a sign of their power. It's a sign of their limitations, how far they can actually go. And when they run out of ammo, what do? Just like in the movies, they'll take the empty gun and throw that. It shows how powerless they actually are and the limit of their own intelligence. That's why it's so important that we power ourselves against, this verbal warfare from narcissists. Because they only have so many bullets. And their bullets, they're rubber bullets anyway. They're little styrofoam popcorn kernels. Because once you see that it's just useless words that are meaningless to the end of their intellectual capacity, it's just like, all right, well, they don't actually make it towards you. Just becomes sound off in the distance. It's just like, It's like, having a lot of windows open in one of your computer things, and there's just like monkey noises coming out from one of them. It's like, oh, crap, okay, I'll just close them all. Because it's like understanding how their little tactics work. It's just kind of realizing it's just like they're like arrows that they're trying to shoot at us with a bow without any string. They're not going to reach you if you don't let them. And it's true. Words can be more painful. Words can hurt. And words can cut deep. But once you realize the words are actually coming from a weakness, so all of a sudden, it's just like the sharpness of those words just kind of gets really, really dull. And eventually, it's just like it doesn't even reach us. Because the more often, and sometimes it takes a bit of practice, but the more often you brush off a narcissist name-calling techniques, you end up standing more tall in your own words. And it does feel like you're dodging bullets sometimes. And what you're actually doing is you're starting to turn the table. You realize that someone who's using these verbal jabs to cause hurt and cause suffering isn't a very healthy person. And, so what? The narcissist needs to put labels on things. but the labels don't stick. Once you kind of take back your own, you create this fortress of your own worth. The narcissist attempt at tearing you down, they end up just being like pebbles being thrown against a brick wall. Because in this battle of words, it's just like your self-respect is your strongest weapon. And your boundaries end up becoming that shield that protects your heart and protects your soul. Your refusal to engage, that's your sweetest little victory. And once a narcissist sees that words, words, you don't actually care what they think. Like they can take a little name tag and they put all sorts of little things on it and then try to stick it to you. It just kind of falls off because you're deciding that there's no glue on the end of that label. If it doesn't suit you, then screw it. Doesn't matter because they don't matter. If you don't know who I am, my name is Miles. I'm a recovery coach, and I help people kind of process the trauma and understand this narcissism. You're already starting, the cognitive part of recovery, which is understanding the stuff that kind of goes on in the background that we start to ignore and we start to see, and it kind of opens up our eyes. And the next phase to recovery is the emotional integration, kind of taking that story, taking our experience, and redefining what those experiences mean. If you want to find more about my program, you can type Narcovery Recovery in the comments, and I'll post a link to the program. And thank you for supporting Narcovery. It's a passion project of mine that I've been running for a really long time, and I'm so glad when the information kind of gets out there and people resonate with it.